We have Multitude by Stromae. It is 12 songs, 35 minutes long, almost 36 minutes long. Stromae is a Belgian musician. Has done Belgian Dan. Um,
Hi, Ben.
has done quite a bit of music and is pretty popular in Europe, I would say. Like he's have multiple tracks and stuff that have been on FIFA tracks and other things. So he's been around for about the past decade, I would say.
Yeah,
Um,
his
so
his original album in 2013 was incredibly
2013.
influential in European music, and
Yep.
like a lot of people liked it for I'm only using this like reference because it's like easy for people to jump onto, but in much the same way that Kanye West himself purports to be a musical influence and having his music sort of impact a lot of artists for like mixing genres and doing other things. I think Stromae, in a much less, like making it about himself kind of manner, can also similarly be compared to this, right? Where he created an album in 2013 that was very influential and very genre blendy in a number of different
Yep.
ways that for the coming decade or so you got a bunch of different artists sort of like being inspired by the sound, like mimicking the sound. Like it's sort of like a Jaipal
It's like
story
J-Paul. I was
almost.
gonna say it's
Yeah.
very similar to J-Paul because actually J-Paul was around the same time when Stromae came out. So you had, and J-Paul's Indian English, so you had a lot of influences in European music from both of them at around the same time. So you got like that, hip hop influence along with mixing electronic beats, like mixing like almost Afro beats and other things and stuff too. But anyways, going on into the album review, I don't speak French because I'm German, and we don't do that there. So I'm
I don't
gonna
speak
just go
French
by.
because I also say that I don't speak French because I'm Madagascan and my family left before they came. So that caveat being said, I'll say that this is we've been doing this occasion
Jesus.
we've been doing this occasionally here and there. I mean, we went there world history wise, but
Yeah.
we've been doing this occasionally where we have kind of ghost reviews where I filter in commentary that some of
Oh yeah.
the friends of Audioface who have been referenced and also been on the podcast from time to time give me some notes so we can like help give you a good review along with what we listen to as like regular viewers. So like regular listeners. So like we have both those kind of perspectives there. But I mean, as you go into this album, when we're gonna butcher all the names in it, because
I'm
I
just gonna go
only
track.
stood.
I'm just gonna say track one, track two, track three. Best way for me to do this. Skirt the
I am gonna
surface.
butcher the names. I am sorry, everyone in France. I'm screwing up my cred for when I eventually go to France. Um, but yeah, you go into the project, and one thing you will get to experience as I'll let you off to kind of lead on with Sean is that you get, even though like we are English reviewers and we speak English and reviewing albums, experimentation and genre blending is like it transcends all of that, and you can tell that every single song on here is like thoughtfully produced and crafted to be a call and homage to a different like international genre.
Yeah, for sure. Like you can hear all the influences and stuff that are in here. Like you can hear a lot of the dance hall, the European house mixes and stuff that influence this work, along with a lot of hip hop, a lot of even trap and neo pop, soul, and a couple other genres that are kind of thrown into here too. So the opening track is a good like opener to get you sucked into the record of what it's going to be. And if you don't know that like sound and whatnot of Stromae and a few others, like you'll get a sense of it where, it's a lot of play on like almost a spoken word or like a singing rap, which isn't a lot of it, but then really solid, like easy to listen to production in it. Which then, translates throughout the entire record. So second track is like that really fun, like,
Sante.
yeah, Sante. It's a really fun track. I really like it, where it's like that very, very typical European thing that who really pioneered for a lot of listeners. And it's good. It's like that Mediterranean feel of like mixed EDM with hip hop and stuff, and it's something that you hear a lot, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I liked La Solicitude. La Solicitude, I think that was what it's called, because I remember it being said in
Track
the song. But song
three.
track 3,
That's why
Sean
I'm
is
saying
entire.
just the tracks.
Sean is
I'm
entirely
just
given up
skirting
on
the
me.
surface. I'm not even gonna try to say that.
But that you get an entirely different thing. That's a little bit bassier, kind of like chimey. It's like almost playing with those sorts of like percussion based instruments to make those like nice noises. And what you get is sort of like something that calls to kind of the calmer parts of electronic music. I guess recently we reviewed the Jordan Rakai type of track or things like that. It's just like
Hmm.
really mellow in that way, but still just really beautiful in the way it's sort of illustrating
Hmm.
things.
Yeah, skipping on to track 4 is good, but my favorite by far is 5. I think it's Ninfa, if
Yeah.
pronouncing it right. Very, very good track. I love it. Where it's like,
The drop.
yeah, it's a really nice drop. It's, mixing dance hall along with like, I don't even know how, like what exactly how to explain it, but it's a damn good track. I love the drop. I love the glitchy effects in there. I like the drums. I like a lot of it there in there. It's good. It's very, very
It's
good.
definitely mixing dance hall with like big house EDM from the 2013s because the song
Yeah.
construction is the kind of thing we would complain as being hypey typey, but it's not.
But
You
it's
want to
not.
know
It's that
why?
fine line. It's that fine line, and it
It's not
changes
even.
it up that little bit. So
I wouldn't even say it's a fine line because there's so much experimentation. It doesn't feel that way. Like
yeah,
it fits in the pop construction because we are seasoned music reviewers, but it's actually you're doing so many thoughtful things with the construction that it just flows like a song as it should be because too many
yeah,
DJs get caught up in the fake construction.
yeah. And the big thing that I like about it is the vocals. The vocals are very, very good. I love his voice and the way it's, you know, a really nice baritone, like a deep baritone, almost a bass, that in between range, and you get that within that track, and it really like tops it off and makes it sound very unique in that way. So and that's something that
Most
you
in-
get throughout the whole record too.
and most interesting because Sean and I very clearly do not speak French. Each of the songs, as much as it's dealing with different genres, it's also dealing with different aspects of the human condition. So we talked about Sante earlier. It's actually a Marxist as fuck song. It has to deal with like boundaries between class laborers and lower class laborers and the struggles they go through.
Oh, that's sick.
L'Enfer is actually a song about suicidality, which I totally didn't get from being French, but I also like that aspect of like you can make a really hype song about something that's also like really like deep and intense as well.
Super, super deep. Yeah.
Um, Maybe we'll get to some songs later, like on like Declaration. Declaration is a song about toxic masculinity and like struggles with fame, sort of like in a way The Weeknd would do it, or like Drake did in Take Care, right? Like it's a really interesting way that these themes as well that like obviously it's like music reviewers we're just taking in like oh this sounds really nice but
Yeah.
we're with them actually constructing the language. There's actually some really good themes here as well that I think highlight how each of these songs are vignettes that transcend so many different genres of music, but it still works together in an album, which is what we're usually looking for.
Yeah. Even like throughout the whole record, like you have Rie, which is the eighth track, and hearing that, I really like the vocals, the production of it, and throughout the whole record, I really want to look up the lyrics for a lot of these tracks too to understand them a little bit more. But I really like the production in it. I think it's unique in the way it's made. It has a bunch of influences from all these other different genres, puts it in. And the big thing is for someone really, for Stromae, who was making music for over a decade and has really pioneered a lot of songs, he's still pushing, right? He's still making doing things that I haven't heard that. For example, and in fact, like hearing that, I'm like, oh, I haven't heard something like that or stuff close to it, but not that it pushes the boundaries more. So I like it. It's a very good record. I'm
Yeah,
glad we did
I
this.
one note that Kyle had, who was
Yeah.
also ghost reviewing these. A lot of the notes, especially on transcribing French, are from Annie, so shout out to Annie. But Kyle said that some of the sounds and motifs potentially could have been developed more. And you're getting a 35, 36-minute album with 12 songs, so you're getting songs that I think are largely full. You get songs that are largely 3 minutes
They're
long, almost
short.
all of them.
Yeah.
But they're short in construction. I think that could be a response to just larger music trends we talk about in the State of Music
Yeah.
2022 as we get too soon. But I think I felt like I have just enough in these tracks to explore them. I would have loved a 3 or maybe a 4 minute track here or there, but because of that, much like what I think is actually one of the things that Vince Staples' self-titled album didn't get enough credit for, because it's so short and because it's quite good, it gives it more replay value. It's kind of a streaming trick where like you will listen to it more because it only gives you just enough, so that'll help it boost in the algorithm a lot. But I think as an art wise, I like that I'm given just enough to want to listen to the song again. I don't feel like the song itself in 1 or 2 listens is complete. Like my brain has gotten that full experience of dissecting all of the sounds. I feel like I love listening to songs on repeat, and so if I get to listen to songs like L'Enfer and dissect every single
Yeah.
bit and piece and where they glitch out and how it pans into one side versus the other, then cool. I like listening to track. Like I will probably have "Sick" by Earl Sweatshirt be my most listened to song. I've listened to it like 200 times so far this year. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's very good for what it was, and considering it was what 9 years since, or actually more, yeah, about 9 years since his last record. It's good,
Mhm.
very very good. So,
Arbitrary scale this week because our review is our review. And we do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because we'll give you a ranking system because Pitchfork will, even though ours is better because it changes every week. This week it's Pet Federations in honor of the fact that the European Cat Federation, was it, decided to
something like
pull
that.
their competition out of Russia due to the ongoing conflict and everyone pulling their things out of Russia. I don't know. It's
like
I think
no, they banned Russian cats.
the idea that pet federations are like, first of all, what is the cat juicing? Second of all, the idea that they banned pet federations is awesome.
Beautiful. It's like they don't make them like this anymore.
Yeah. Um. What type of pet federation would you give this? I'd give this. It needs to be like a Belgium or like a pet. I think of as very French, like a ferret, or maybe a gerbil.
Gerbil Federation.
Dare I say frog?
He's Belgian, so he was French, sure, but he ain't gonna give him no frog. He speaks Flemish, so I'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know. That's a good question. This is a solid poodle, but without the French cut federation. So the standardized poodle federation with no, but you're automatically disqualified from the federation if you have that stupid haircut.
Yeah. Also, I did want to shout out because Annie did mention it. The Trap Beat and Bonne Journée, the 12th song, the last song, is very good. I was loving the like EDM trapish beat from L'Enfer. We were like starstruck by that, honestly. But yeah, you get to the rest of the album, and it's really sick. So much replay quality there, and I really appreciate that.